Hello everyone, myself K. Chaitra, Department of Civil Engineering. I am working as an assistant professor, St. Martin's Engineering College. Today I am giving video lecture on hydrological cycle, precipitation and measurements and infiltration. So we will go on to the topic. So precipitation. First we will go to hydrology. So the introduction of the hydrology is the study of the water. So hydrology means study of the water. So in it is a simple term. In engineering term, hydrology is the study of water. So what the study will includes means movement, occurrence and distribution. So that means where it will get originated and where it will get deviated and where it will get deposited. So that is the study of the water properties. That is known as the hydrological cycle. So that means hydrology is nothing but the study of the water. So what the study includes means occurrence, movement and distribution. So that is known as hydrology. So coming to hydrological cycle. So hydrological cycle means we know hydrology. So hydrology is nothing means study. So cycle means continuous repeating of the hydrology. So that means the movement, distribution and the occurrence will get continuously in repeating in cycle. So that is known as the hydrological cycle. That means hydrological cycle. So say if you are that means from the water get evaporates or get from earth surface to the atmosphere, then from surface to atmosphere, that is known as hydrological cycle. In simple terms, hydrological cycle is known as the continuous repeating or continuous cycle of the water from earth surface to the atmosphere. That is known as the hydrological cycle. So that means whenever the earth leaves the water, whenever the water leaves the earth, directly it will go accumulated on the earth atmosphere. So from the earth surface to the atmosphere, from the where it will get evaporated and where the water main source of the water means like ocean, land, and then next you will get from the plants. That is the main source of the water which will get away from the surface to the atmosphere. So that is known as the continuous process of the water cycle. So continuous process of the repeating of the water from surface to the atmosphere to the surface is known as the hydrological cycle. So this is the hydrological cycle. Next we will go to, so this is the schematic diagram. So if you see the diagram, you will be able to understand what is the hydrological cycle. So that means the water is stored in the form of a river, oceans, or sea, etc. So water on the rivers, ocean, etc. will get evaporated, and it will stored here as a clouds, that is condensation, and then that condensation will converted into precipitation. So precipitation is nothing but the falling of moisture from the atmosphere to the earth surface. That is known as the precipitation. And next, from the precipitation, the water will get again to the land. So that is known as infiltration. So from the infiltration, again the water will go reach the ocean. So that is known as this is the hydrological cycle. That means water will go up and it will form in the form of a clouds, and then again it will that will fall from the atmosphere to the earth, and again on the earth it will reach the basic source of the water, that is ocean or sea or lake or river. So that is this complete cycle is known as the hydrological cycle. So this is the hydrological cycle. So from this schematic representation, anyone can understand the hydrological cycle. So water will get evaporated and accumulated in the clouds in the form of a clouds, and then again from the clouds water will reach the earth surface, and then from earth surface it will reach the source of the water. So this is the hydrological cycle schematic representation. Next, coming to each component. So hydrological cycle is not a single term. That means it has many components. So that all the components together to form a hydrological cycle or water cycle. So hydrological cycle, it consists of various important factors or important components. There are 5 to 6 components, important components are there. 5 to 6 important components. So what are those components means? 5 to 6 components. So that will form all these together to form a hydrological cycle. So not only the hydrological cycle continue. So hydrological cycle 5 to 6 components. So what are those? First is evaporation. First component is evaporation. So evaporation is a, so in this diagram you can see, so each component is explained clearly here. So evaporation is, here it is the water bodies. You can see the water bodies. So from the water bodies, water will get evaporated due to the sun radiation. Due to the sun radiation, the heat from the sun which will makes the water to get evaporated. So due to the sun radiation, the water on the water bodies will get evaporated and it will forms clouds like structures. So due to heat of the sun, the water, the liquid, the changing of the liquid from the gases is known as the evaporation. So this is the evaporation, due to which due to this heat of the sunlight, the water get evaporated and accumulated in the form of a cloud. That process is known as condensation. So condensation. So next, so in this picture you can see clearly what the evaporation means. So here, here sun is there. So you can see, if the sun rays is falling here, sun rays is falling with high intensity or high temperature, the water will get evaporated. So you can see here evaporating water, the vapor liquid or gaseous state. So here it is the liquid, here it is the water, but it is evaporating in the form of a gas. So the conversion of the liquid to the gas is known as the evaporation. So this is the main component of the hydrological cycle. Next, coming to next component. So next component is transpiration. So transpiration, now we know evaporation. So next, coming to transpiration. So we know evaporation. So evaporation is conversion of liquid to gases. Next, transpiration. So what does transpiration means? So transpiration is nothing but it is also a type of evaporation. It is also a type of evaporation from the plants. So the main difference of evaporation and the transpiration is nothing but, so the evaporation takes place from the water bodies. So in the transpiration, the evaporation takes place from the plants or trees which is presented on the surface, land surface. So the transpiration is nothing but the evaporation of the water in the form of a liquid or in the form of a gases from the leaves and roots of the plants. Even in the roots also, the water will get evaporated. So the water will get evaporated from even in the roots also. So the transpiration does not take place only through the leaves but also from the roots. So this is the transpiration. So here you can see from here also the transpiration takes place. So now evaporation will take place directly from here, transpiration from the leaves or trees or roots of the plant. So that is the transpiration. Next, coming to, so here you can see directly. So here this schematic representation will gives you the, so when the sunlight falls on the plants, due to high temperature or the temperature of the sun, the water present on the trees will get directly evaporated and stored here and in the form of a clouds. So this is the transpiration. This is the schematical representation of the transpiration, where the water will get evaporated from the leaves or roots of a plant. So that is the transpiration. Next, coming to condensation. So previously we know the evaporation. So evaporation, water will get vaporized from liquid to gases. So where it will store, or where the water will get stored. So that form, storing of a water, that is from liquid to gaseous, from liquid to gas state, that is known as the that condensation. So from liquid to gas state is known as the condensation. From liquid to gas, and from gas to vapor, that is known as condensation. So this process is evaporation and this process is condensation. So here the condensation, evaporated water from the water bodies as well as from the transpiration or from the plants, the evaporated water will get stored in the form of a clouds. So that is known as condensation. So the conversion of the liquid or the vapor into gaseous form, that is known as the condensation. Next component of the hydrological cycle is, so here it is the schematic representation, where you can see these are the vaporized form or well as gaseous form or well as the evaporated form. So this will give, this is the condensated state of the water which is evaporated from the earth surface to the atmosphere. Next component is precipitation. So we know water will get evaporated and water will get converted into condensation form and it will get stored there. And how much long it can store? How much time it will store the water in the gaseous form? So in that time, the stored water in the atmosphere in the form of a condensation will reach the earth in the form of a water. So that water is known as precipitation. That means falling of a moisture from the earth atmosphere to the surface is known as the precipitation. So precipitation is nothing but the falling of moisture. So falling of moisture from the atmosphere to the earth surface is known as the precipitation. So not only falling moisture is not only falling moisture is various types. So that is the forms of the precipitation. Not only in local terms or in easy terms, in simple terms, the precipitation is also known as the rainfall. But in engineering terms, in technological terms, we should not use the rainfall. So in that, instead of that, we have to use the precipitation. So precipitation is not only the rainfall, precipitations also have various forms. So we can get precipitation as a rainfall, snow, then sleet, glaze, haze. These are the types of the precipitation. So we will get the moisture from the atmosphere not only in the form of a droplets or a liquid, we will get as the ice also, that crystals also, fog also. So that are the forms of the precipitation. Next component of the hydrological cycle is runoff. So runoff means we know water get evaporated and it will accumulated in the form of a clouds, and from the clouds it will reach the earth surface as in the form of a precipitation. So after precipitation, some of the water will get left over there. So what it will do? So this is the land. This is the land means where the water will get stored. So here after precipitation, see here this arrow mark shows the precipitation. So after precipitation, some of the water will get into the soil mass. That is one thing. And above the soil mass or above the land surface where the water will go. So that runoff means the movement or forward movement of the water from the precipitation. Where the water does not include or does not enter into the or does not percolate or permeable into the soil mass, which will reach the original source of water. That will reach the original source of water. So that is the runoff. So runoff is the extra accumulated water which does not infiltrate or does not permeable or does not percolate into the soil mass, which will run off to the original source of water. So that is known as the runoff. Next component is, so here you can see this is the simple schematic diagram. So this is the main source of the water. So main source of the water here considered as the ocean. So main source of the water considered as ocean. This is the main source of water. From this water, due to the sun intensity rays or sun rays, the water will get evaporated. Here this you can see the water will get evaporated, and here also from the trees evaporation will take place in the form of a transpiration. So this is transpiration. The water will get evaporated from the leaves as a transpiration, and then again it will reach the clouds in the form of a condensation. After condensation, the water from the clouds will reach the earth surface through a snow or a rainfall or some other forms of precipitation. All this will take place. So this is the simple schematic diagram. So from the ocean, from the original space of the water, it will reach the clouds due to the sun intensity, and it will again fall to the earth atmosphere as the form of a snow or a rain. So this is the hydrological cycle. Next, coming to precipitation. So precipitation, Precipitation is a form of falling of a liquid. Precipitation is a falling of a liquid from the atmosphere to the earth's surface is known as the precipitation, or falling of a moisture from the atmosphere to the earth's surface is known as the precipitation. So precipitation in generally in our India we have only rainfall. We don't have any snow. So for that the different intensities of the rainfall is given. For the intensity which is less than 0.1 micrometer or 0.01 mm, the intensity, this you can see the droplet here. So this much thickness or this much intensity of the water, or this much of the intensity of the rainfall will takes place for the thickness. And for the 10 micrometer means the size, you can see here the size of the droplet from the atmosphere. So if it is radius is more than 50 micrometer, then the size you can see. And if it is more than 1000 micrometer, that is 1 mm. So that one you can see the size here. You can see the different types of rainfall. So you can see different types of rainfall. So coming to the cloud constituent, so this is the different radius of the rainfall. So this is radius when the radius of the rainfall is 0.1 micrometer, that means 0.0001 micrometer, 0.00001 mm. So this is the size of the rainfall. So where if it is r is equals to, that is radius is equals to 10 micrometer means that is 0.01 mm. This is the size. If the rainfall is the intensity of the rainfall droplet is 0.01 mm, this is the size of the rainfall. If the radius of the rainfall droplet is 0.005 mm, then this is the size of the rainfall. So if it is 1 mm, or 100,000 micrometer, then this is the rainfall intensity with a zoomed in capsulation. So this is the largest rainfall largest radius of the rainfall. So this is the different types of rainfalls, rainfall with a different radius. Next, coming to forms of precipitation. So there are various forms of precipitation. So precipitation is falling of moisture from the falling of moisture from the atmosphere to the surface is known as the precipitation. So here precipitation, so forms of precipitation is various forms of precipitation. So precipitation have different types of forms. So in that first one is, so forms is, first is rainfall. As we all know, in India we will get only the rainfall, but in western countries or in foreigns you will get this snow and glaze and hail and sleet. So these are the forms of the precipitation. So coming to each different types of forms, so we have the different types of forms with each different explanation. The rainfall, the first coming to snow. So snow is nothing but the frozen ice crystals or the frozen ice which is in the form of a ice. The rainfall is a rainfall or a water or a liquid which is in the form of a frozen state. So that will fall from atmosphere to the earth surface. That is known as the snow. Next, after snow, so you can see different types of snow crystals here. So luckily we don't have the snow crystals in our country, where in western countries you can find the snow crystals in the December or January months. So these are the different types of snow crystals with a different size of the radius, different size of the radius of the droplets. So if you are using the droplet of if the droplet is 1 mm, so you will get the rainfall. So if it is a zoomed picture of the snow crystal. So if it is different, so different radius can be determined. So next form is rain. So the general form of the precipitation or general form of the falling of moisture is the rain. So rain is falling of liquid from the atmosphere. So the intensity can vary from different mm to different mm. So the minimum mm of the rain is 0.05 mm to 6.25 mm is the maximum intensity of the rainfall. So rainfall, we have different types of rainfall: low rainfall, moderate rainfall and heavy rainfall. So the low rainfall is having the intensity of 0.05 mm and the heavy rainfall having the maximum in India, maximum intensity is 6.25 mm. So this is the forms of a precipitation as a rain. Next coming to graupel. Graupel is also a different type of ice structure. So snow is different and graupel is different. So graupel is the falling of a moisture from the atmosphere in the form of an ice crystal. Next AL is layered ice crystal. So you can see this is the glaze. So here the glaze, you can see the different size, as I mentioned previously, different size, that means different radius. So radius can be vary from 0.0001 mm to 1 mm. So this may be due to the highest radius of the water droplets, it will forms as a glaze. Next, what is the impact of the glaze? So if the glaze with highest radius, if it falls on the structure or if it falls on humans, it will cause damage. So this is rarest case of the forms of a precipitation. We don't expect that frequently. Next, sleet. So sleet is one of the ice pellets. So previously glaze and hail are the ice crystals. So this is ice pellets. So sleet is the ice pellets. So this is about the precipitation. So precipitation is the falling of the moisture from the atmosphere to the earth's surface. So we have different forms of precipitation. Just now we have gone through that. Next we will go to measuring precipitation. How to measure? So we know rainfall will come from the atmosphere to the earth's surface. So how we have to know at what intensity and at what rate. So that one we have to know. So for that we have the measuring of the precipitation. So measuring of the precipitation will help us to measuring of the precipitation. So measuring of precipitation. So measuring of the precipitation have two types. So one is recording rain gauges. So from the rain gauges we can measure the precipitation. So from the rain gauges we can measure. So in rain gauges we have two types. One is recording rain gauge and another one is non-recording rain gauge. Non-recording rain gauge. So another one is non-recording rain gauge. So again in recording rain gauges we have different types and in non-recording rain gauges we have only one type. So what is the major difference between these two rain gauges is? So in recording rain gauges, we don't need an attendant to monitor the intensity or to monitor the rainfall data. So it will give the automatically. So it is also known as the automatic rain gauge. So this is also known as the automatic rain gauge, where in non-recording rain gauge it requires an attendant or a person to monitor the rain gauges, to monitor the rainfall intensity, to know the rainfall intensity and to know the duration. Attendant is compulsory needed to maintain the non-recording rain gauges. So in recording rain gauges different types is there. So in that different types, so first type is in recording rain gauges, first type is weighing bucket. So weighing bucket, this is the one laboratory equipment where it can be installed in the flat surface of the ground and it helps to detect the intensity of the rainfall and amount of rainfall. Next recording rain gauge is tipping bucket and another one is float type rain gauge. So these are the three important rain gauges which we'll use to determine the intensity of the rainfall as well as the duration of the rainfall as well as the amount of rainfall. In India, especially in India, we use all the these types of rain gauges. Now coming to each of the recording rain gauges. So first recording rain gauges is we have tipping bucket. So you can see the diagram, the schematic diagram of the recording rain gauge. So here recording rain gauge, first it has a metallic jar or a glass jar in which it is having a funnel of a diameter of 30 centimeter or 300 mm. 30 centimeter or 300 mm. Funnel is inserted inside the glass jar. And tipping bucket is connected. Tipping bucket means two bucket is connected to the glass jar. So when the water flows, one bucket will get filled and it will tip the water into the jar, into the water jar, into the glass jar. And after completion of that, other again here, the another bucket is there. So water will get full, water will get completed, and this bucket will get tilted into the glass jar. So in tipping bucket, the amount of rainfall can be get by we can get by, so number of tilting into predetermined rainfall, number of tilting into predetermined rainfall will gives you the rainfall amount, or amount of the rainfall for the specific duration, or the specific time, or for the specific area. If the area is selected, for the tipping bucket is installed, tipping bucket laboratory equipment is installed. So number of tilts into predetermined rainfall, which will gives you the amount of rainfall amount. So that means how much times the bucket is tilted, into the rainfall, previous data rainfall, which will gives you the rainfall amount for the particular duration, say for example, say 2 hours or 120 minutes, like that, and particular specific or particular area. So how to select the area? If the area is having the more water rainfall, if the area having the more rainfall than the usual, then this type of bucket is this type of equipments can be installed, and the amount of rainfall can be get. So this is the tipping bucket. Next coming to weighing bucket. So weighing bucket is the process same. The weighing bucket, the procedure is same, where the glass jar, inside the glass jar, our funnel is placed, and below the funnel weighing machine is placed. So when the water gets accumulated in that funnel, it will collect it through a glass ball, and the glass ball is placed above the weighing machine. So the changes in the weighing machine will gives you the weight of the, intensity of the rainfall. So here water is get accumulated, So here when the water get accumulated, the action in the weighing machine will gives you the graph. So the graph shows the intensity of the rainfall collected. So next we have, so detailing we have the schematic representation. So in this we have hydrological cycle. So hydrological cycle, from the sun rays, due to sun rays, the water will get evaporated. Due to sun rays, the water will get evaporated. See, you can see here, water will get evaporated due to sun rays. So when the sun rays reaches the earth surface, the water will get evaporated, and it will forms in the form of a clouds, and from the clouds the precipitation start falling from the atmosphere to the earth, and from the earth precipitation the water will get infiltrated. That means transferring of water from soil to soil mass, and then remaining water will get runoff. So runoff means reaching the main source of the water. So when it reaches the main source of the water, this is the main source, ocean. So this will give the hydrological cycle. So water will get evaporated and converted into clouds, that is in the form of a condensation. From the condensation, precipitation takes place. From the precipitation, water will reach the earth surface. After reaching, it will get infiltrate into the soil mass. Water will get infiltrate into the soil mass, and remaining water on the surface will reach the main source of the water. So next coming to the hydrological cycle is completed. Next coming to measurement of the precipitation. According to World Meteorological Organization, so the rain gauge, you consider if it is a rain gauge, if it is a rain gauge, then according to that WMO, rain gauge should be maintained in a specific location at a specific distance. To get the accurate value, we have to maintain the rain gauge. So rain gauge should be placed in a plain surface. It should not be elevated, or it should not be in the region. it should be plain surface. To get the accurate data through the rain gauges, we have to place the rain gauges at a certain distance, and two of the rain gauges should not meet at the easy, little distance. So it has to maintain some distance from one rain gauge to another rain gauge. The distance should be maintained. Next, so the rain gauges. So according to the WMO, the rain gauges certain distance is given. So according to that only, we have to place the rain gauges. So next, so here you can see the distance. Here you can see the distance, and see this is one type of the tipping bucket. So when the water get accumulated, so this is the one bucket and this is another bucket. So when water get filled in the one bucket, it will get tilted, and if the water get in another bucket, it will get tilted. So number of tilting into predetermined area which will gives you the rainfall amount. So you can see here number of bucket tilts. How many times the bucket tilts, that much the intensity of the water. So intensity of the water. Next, coming to weighing bucket. So this is the schematic representation of the weighing bucket. So funnel is glass jar is placed above the weighing machine, and when the water falls, the weighing machine shows some weights. So that weights will gives the amount of rainfall or intensity of the rainfall. So one disadvantages of this system is due to some insects will fall inside the bucket and it will start jumping. So due to jumping also, the weight will get dismantled. So that is our main disadvantages of this type of bucket. Next type is, that's it. Okay, thank you.